approval of the minutes of November 5th, 2024.
All right. A congratulation as she moves the minutes to our own Councilwoman Heather Hutt of the 10th District. So a big round of applause. Councilmember Yaroslavsky seconds. What's next? Mr. Price.
Thank you, Mr. President. Out of an abundance of caution, the city attorney has asked me to recuse myself from item 28 due to the fact that I am a landlord. Item 28. Please.
28, okay. All right, I have Mr. Kokorian.
Thank you, Mr. President. On item 28, I also will be recusing on this item in that I own rental property in the city.
All right.
Christopher Dorner, Janet Weiland, Aaron Abramson, Jason Jenkins, D.B. Cooper, and Audit Scientology.
Good morning. You have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items.
41窗外的麻雀在电线杆上多嘴，你说这一句很有夏天的感觉，手中的铅笔在纸上来来回回，我用几行字形容你是我的谁。雨下整夜，我的爱溢出，就像雨水源自落叶，跟我的思念厚厚一叠，几句是非也无法将我的热情冷却。你出现在我诗的每页，窗台蝴蝶，我的爱溢出，就像雨水。42一群嗜血的蚂蚁被腐肉所吸引，我面无表情看孤独的风景。失去你，爱恨开始分明。失去你，还有什么事好关心？当各自不再象征和平，我终于被提醒，广场上喂食的是秃鹰。我用漂亮的押韵形容被掠夺一空的爱情。Oh yeah, let's go, homie. 乌云开始遮蔽，夜色不干净。公园里葬礼的回音，在满天飞行。送你的白色玫瑰，在纯黑的黄金的领悟。压在树枝上，诡异的很安静。静静听我黑色的大衣，想温暖你。无人变得冰冷的回忆，走过的生命。四周弥漫雾气，我在空旷的墓地，老去后还爱你。为你弹奏肖邦的夜曲，纪念我死去的爱情，跟夜风一样的声音，心碎得很好听。手在键盘敲很轻，我给的思念很小心。43苏培勾勒出情话，笔锋浓转淡。平生描绘的牡丹，一如你初妆。冉冉檀香透过窗，心事我了然。宣纸上走笔至此各一半，釉色渲染仕女图，韵味被私藏。而你嫣然的一笑，如含苞待放。你的美一缕飘散，去到我去不了的地方。天青色等烟雨，而我在等你。炊烟袅袅升起，隔江千万里。在平地书函里放前朝的飘逸，就当我未遇见你伏笔。General public comment. I want to talk about the price discrimination in the city of LA. Because I believe every single city service should be offered to every single Angelino at the same price. It should not be discriminated because of your skin color, and then you should be offered a different price for the same amount of service. Because on the Figueroa Street, that's a huge problem. I heard many members calling in told me that they have $5 Figueroa services. But last night, when I go to the Figueroa Street and when I'm asking for the $5 services, they told me it's $200 minimum purchase required. So I want to know what's the difference between my skin color and their skin color, and how is that possible that they were able to offer and provided $5 Figueroa services, but I can only purchase the same services for at least a $200 minimum. That is what we call it discrimination and racism.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
We'll just say all items and general public comment, please.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the items.
Okay, thank you. It's fine. It's cool. Item 44 seems like something that we should do. 43 is funding for homeless services, but what does that mean? 25,000 for a company called West Coast Care, but are they really helping or just taking money? You could appropriate this funding in a way that helps the people who really need it. You could use that money to buy housing and give it to the workers who serve the public. We're fucked, babe. Oh, we're fucked, babe. Is West Coast Care really gonna help the homeless? Let's move on to 40, adding more enforcement to Code 4118. That's not helping. It's just criminalizing folks who live in poverty. You don't want to do the work that'll really help the poor. You just want to put up signs and arrest people. How much does it cost to implement 4118 across the city? We could use the funding for permanent resources for people like affordable housing. We're fucked, babe. Oh, we're fucked, babe. Why are we expanding 4118? Now let's look at item number 42. Spend 100 grand. What's it gonna do? Put security at a park on Spring Street. Is that an efficient way to spend our money? I'm asking, is that the best way to spend our money? I'm asking, is that the best way to spend our money? You could appropriate this funding in a way that helps the people who really need it. You could use it to just buy housing and give it to the workers who serve the public. We're fucked, babe. Oh, we're fucked, babe. Are these motions really gonna help the homeless? We're fucked, babe. Oh, we're fucked, babe. Is anything you're doing gonna help the homeless? Is anything you're doing gonna help the homeless? I'll move on to general public comment now.
Okay, so you have 1 minute.
My apologies for absolutely butchering Chappelle Roan, but I didn't really give myself time to rehearse that one this morning. But the sentiment remains that we spend a lot of money in these funding motions on the homelessness industrial complex, and the results it yields are pretty abysmal. And there's really no will on this body to hold organizations accountable for the money that we funnel through them that are supposed to get people off the streets that we see is really ineffective. And like I said last time I was up here, it would be so respectful and good if we could count on this body to actually be seated and paying attention when the public is here speaking. But here we have Tracy is chatting with Monica, Imelda's shuffling through papers, Nithya loves to ignore me because she just doesn't like anything I have to say. We got Katie, Hugo, and Bob chatting over here. Marquise is not paying attention. Tim is the only one even looking at me. I assume that whatever his aide's telling him is important. Wherever Kevin is,
Next speaker. Good morning. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you'd like to speak to.
Good morning. David Geishan with the Apartment Association of Greater Los Angeles. I'd like to speak on general public comment, but my comments are referring to item 28.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
The proposed amendments to this ordinance will harm all owners and renters. It will have a major chilling effect on the vast majority of good relationships that currently exist between rental housing providers and renters. The new mandatory damage awards are astronomical even for a single misstep. As a result, mom-and-pop owners will be forced to avoid basic communication with renters to resolve minor daily living issues for fear of purposefully inaccurate claims of harassment or even simple misunderstandings. The current draft mandates penalties at 3 times the actual damages and also includes mental and emotional distress at special damages, which are typically excluded from actual damages. On top of that, it requires civil penalties of at least $2,000 per violation, which is financially unfeasible for small owners. The city should not ignore the stark disparity between the financial resources of small independent housing providers and multinational corporations. What may be a fair deterrent for a large corporation will be a catastrophic loss for mom-and-pop owners providing affordable rental housing for lower-income renters. Thank you.
Mr. Herman, if you'd like to speak, you need to do so now. So you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for
Mr.
general.
Grote,
Go ahead.
I'll get there as fast as I fucking can. Thank you, sir. Mr. Grote, I'd like to speak on all motherfucking items and non-agenda fucking public comment, please, asshole. Thank you. So, relative dedicated Eastman on behalf of Donald Trump, purpose relocation at 18214 West Trump Street right of way. Thank you, Donald Trump. We shall recognize you and find that the dedication of the Eastman and street purpose on behalf of Donald Trump, once again in the California Environmental Quality Act, is an article under 13, like the one on my fucking jacket, asshole. Then I go into item 13, Mr. Grote, since you're in a fucking hurry with me, asshole. Item number 2 for the record, another CD12, which I find offensive under Mr. Oh, is that you, John Lee? And Buckethead having a conversation? Pay attention. That's what Stacy was saying, that you niggers don't pay attention about the so-called dedication easement on the fucking up. Yeah, there you go. You're fucking up. So the bottom line is, when I'm able to read this, you're fucking up. To accept the exhibit map on October 23, 24, fucking shut up and listen, city engineers. The report attached to council file. Yeah. Don't you see it there, Mr. Grout? It instructs the city clerk to have a copy for the action, Mr. Grote, and the Bureau of Engineering survey to understand the process of Donald Trump, the 47th
Okay, so I need you to move on to another
president.
item, please.
So now I have to go into CD 14, item 45, on behalf of Kevin DeLeon, and he's soon to have a comeback like Trump, and if not, on his behalf, 42 U.S.C. 1983, fuck you all. Fuck you all. Because Bloomfield and Padilla on the California Public Utilities Commission did not light up City Hall in red for Donald Trump. So the action recommended by an asshole like you shitholes, is this: that we, the city attorney, to file a complaint with the Federal Railroad to light up the train so we can choo-choo Trump, choo-choo Trump, choo-choo Trump. Now into my general public comment. Ladies and gentlemen, as you heard as of the following polls, is that America will do great again. We will no longer have these fucking gooks sending us bad materials. We will build in America the materials we need to send the fucking bombs to Palestine to finish off the job that Bob Bloomfield has done, which is to take the lives of millions, if not trillions of children and their families. The same as I said over and over about HHH, bitch, 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 which in reference that Donald Trump will make America safe, will make America great, we will all have jobs, and we don't have to follow the goddamn Democrats' race to poverty and become poverty pimps like Hugo and Mommy Ramen Noodle.
Speaker, your time has expired. Next speaker.
God bless America, Trump.
Mr. Herman, this is your first and only warning. Please do not disrupt public comment. Nobody disrupted yours.
Mi nombre es Ana Chan y voy a hacer un comentario público. Primero, darle las gracias a todos los concejales y personas que apoyaron en la enmienda Tajo.
Just a minute. Hold on.
So, good morning. First off, I'd like to say my name is Anna Chan, and I have a general public comment. I would like to thank all the councilmen that have supported us.
And before she continues, can the interpreter just pull the mic a little bit closer so we can hear you? Thank you.
Sure. Adelante, señora.
Darle las gracias nuevamente por todo el apoyo que hicieron para que la enmienda Tajo pasara, pero hoy también les pido que por favor síganos apoyando para que esto se pase a ser una ley. Y muchas gracias porque el apoyo que brindaron todas las personas que apoyaron.
Okay, espera un momento. I would like to thank all the councilmen again for your support with passing Tahoe, and I would also like to ask for you to keep supporting until this becomes law. Continúe.
Por lo mismo les pido por favor que nos sigan apoyando con esto para que se haga una ley.
And
Muchas
so
gracias.
I would just like to ask you all again to please continue supporting this so that this can become law. Thank you.
Okay. Sí, mi nombre es Cristina Campos, soy miembro de ACE y vengo aquí pues primeramente a darle las gracias a todos los concejales que nos apoyaron y que votaron para enforzar la ordenanza de Tajo.
Un momento, señora.
Sí.
Hi, good morning. My name is Cristina Campos. I am a member of ACE, and first off, I would like to thank all the council members who supported Tahoe. Adelante.
Sí, y lo segundo pues es esperamos que se pueda implementar, que hagan que se implemente la ley porque pues nos ayuda a todos personalmente en el acoso a mi familia.
And the second part is that we hope that we can have this law be implemented because I have personally in my family experienced this harassment.
Y para las tantas personas que sufren acoso en sus hogares por algunos dueños de propiedad y todo, o sea, muchas gracias. Esperamos que se pueda implementar bien esa ordenanza. Gracias.
And also all the other people who have experienced harassment by their landlord. So I would like to say thank you for the support, and I hope that this can be implemented.
Pues yo quisiera agradecerles a todos los miembros de este concilio por haber votado a favor de la ordenanza Tajo. Es muy importante para nosotros, la comunidad de inquilinos, que se haya votado a favor porque nos va a beneficiar bastante, ya que pues estamos... sí, perdón.
Yes, I would like to thank all the council members who voted in favor of Tahoe, as this is a very important ordinance for the tenant community. Adelante.
Yo como inquilino en la ciudad de Los Ángeles he padecido muchísimo de tanto acoso.
I, as a tenant of California and Los Angeles, have experienced this harassment.
Y esta ley me va a beneficiar bastante.
And this law is going to be a great benefit to me.
Ahora lo que les quiero pedir es que se lleve a la práctica, se implemente de verdad.
And so what I'd like to ask from you is for this to actually and truly be implemented.
Es muy importante tomar los siguientes pasos, que se haga ley y luego que se lleve a la práctica, ya que anteriormente Tajo, la primera vez que se pasó, no se pudo utilizar.
And so it's very important that we take the next step so that this can be implemented and that this could be put into practice and enforced. Since the first time Tahoe was passed, it was not able to be used.
Por eso quiero pedirles que de verdad se implemente esta ordenanza.
And so that's why I'm here to ask you all to please implement this ordinance.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
You have 1 minute.
First of all, I want to thank our champions, Nithya Raman, Hugo Soto Martinez, Eunices Hernandez, And every one of the council members that voted yes on Tahoe. This ordinance is very important for all the tenants in Los Angeles. I was going through a lot of harassment, and unfortunately, because the first Tahoe was not very clear on the harassment, it could not be enforced. So now that we have one that it's very clear and very specific when it comes to harassment, and I hope it is enforced ASAP. We need that enforcement. We need to have it done because there's a lot of families that are going through so much harassment and so much mental illness because of that damage that has been done to the kids. Thank you very much to everyone.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hello, my name is Shane Henson. I'm a staff attorney and public policy advocate with Intercity Law Center. There's a nonprofit that represents low-income clients in the city of LA. Intercity Law Center is a proud member of the Keep LA Housed Coalition. Today I want to discuss the recent passed amendments to the Tenant Anti-Harassment Ordinance, otherwise known as Tahoe. Often I and the other members of the LA Housed Coalition use our time during public comment to push the council to take a particular position we believe will help tenants here in Los Angeles. However, we very rarely take the time to thank the council members for their hard work and leadership on these issues. Today, the Keep LA Housed Coalition wants to publicly thank Council Member and Chair of the Housing and Homeless Committee, Rahman, Council Member Hernandez, Council Member Soto Martinez for their leadership on tenants' rights. Additionally, we wish to thank the rest of the City Council for passing these essential amendments to the Tenant Anti-Harassment Ordinance. The changes to Tahoe will finally ensure that we can hold bad acting landlords accountable and protect tenants' rights to the peaceful enjoyment of their homes. Thank you.
How's it going? My name is Matt Salib. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate the time. Just speaking about, I came here, actually I have a property that's on the calendar for being removed out of REAP. But in general, I'm just observing all this. So I'm a property developer in LA, and I understand a lot of these concerns about, harassment and all this stuff. And, they're all valid concerns. And I just, honestly, I provide housing and I build housing for, Section 8 housing and just all communities, South LA, all the way to around here. I just, I've talked to different council members about my plan to help provide housing and not raise rents, and also lead that into a path of home ownership for, colored communities. I own 65 rentals. I've never raised rents on any of them, and I've just really planned on, I think homeownership is key, and I really want to see how I can speak to other people who can help me, see the pros and cons. Yeah.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Okay. Do you want me to go? I'm Audit LA. I lost track.
Good morning.
Sorry. I went over the public works. I wanted all the items, I guess, and public comment, of course.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items.
Okay. Well, when it comes to putting out a reward for a rapist, yeah, I'm all for that. I like you guys being very, frugal with their money because, LAPD gets half the budget, and so, everyone else has to kind of share the love. So I'm always mindful for everyone to be conscious, but we don't want rapists on the board, out in the streets. We don't want any kind of child predators, any kind of human traffickers, or anything like that. And then I'm also seeing something from Miss Padilla. She's not even listening to me. I thought we all worked things out, Miss Padilla. I was going to sit there and say, yeah, give her her thing, but she's not even listening. So, we'll say no then. Maybe that will get her attention. Nope, okay. But there really shouldn't be stuff. We do have to be careful. As somebody in the chair, we do have to worry about the public right away. I'm always concerned for the unhoused who, they need their space and everything, but at the same time, people, I need to be able to get through a public right away too. So it's making it work together, Especially though, like I can't get, one part I would really like on here is on L. Ron Hubbard Way, because they have so many planters and they're doubling down and putting more planters. That's the public way, that's a public easement, and I can't get through at all. They have these thorny bushes that the city told them to take off. That hasn't been removed. And so I would like you to please add that. Ms. Padilla, can you add that to here, your list, since your name is on it, please? Because like, you know how like the public right-of-way that you can't move? Like I can't get through the public right-of-way at L. Ron Hubbard Way and Fountain because of all the planters that are so close together. And, you know, so it's like really hard because I want to be able to take access paratransit. And so I would like, I'm going to say an absolute yes. I mean, I'm going to say yes anyway because, you know, she stand up like Mr. Kosker. You two are now my two favorites. Keep it that way, though. You know, don't, you know.
So,
keep it
Speaker,
that
I'm
way.
not
You're gonna have
sure
to
which
work
item
hard.
you're speaking
I'm
to,
always
but-
okay, I can't give praise to my people like, you know, like our, come on.
You're welcome to during general public comment,
All
but
right.
I need to make sure
All
everybody
right,
sticks to the agenda.
Okay, I'll save the love for then. That's sad. Oh my God, it's like, what a hater. Guys, geez, how do you deal with it? Anything that Mr. McCosker's putting through too, I'm going to say, yeah, give him some love. He deserves it. He's been stand up. He listens too. Ms. Padilla's not listening today, so I don't know. I don't like that. Who else is not listening? Oh, no one's listening, except, well, the city attorney always listens because he doesn't listen to them guys when they're doing wrong and their shenanigans.
So again, I'm going to ask you to please stick to the agenda, or would you like to move to general?
That's not an agenda item? Okay. So we're gonna do that. So I'll just wait out the clock for my public. Here we go.
So you have 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, even though I'm having people, you know, incite violence against me for standing up for what I believe in, I'm still going to do it. Okay, I'll take the risk, you know. And what I'm really concerned about now, it's not just the planters. That's only the beginning. Even though they're doubling down and making it harder, it's just in your face. They have, without permits, these huge like structures now that are not permitted, and I don't know what's going on in there. But what I do know that happened is that two young girls tried to escape from Scientology, from their father, ran for help. Scientology snatched the one girl up. God knows what's happened to her. And the other one made it to a stranger's apartment, begged them not to call the police because in that area they felt that the police were going to be working with them, whether they are, you know, I'm not knocking all you officers, but it certainly did seem to be the case in this thing. And I believe that maybe that girl was returned to her father even though she begged and tried to get free. I want to know where these girls are. We all want to know where these girls are. Please find out. Thank you.
Good morning. You have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items.
Yes, so we'll start with tray number 40, Tracy Park doing a good job, known as Tracy Beach. Oh, sure. Yes. Now, if that big, huge whale, Ulysses the Whale Hernandez, would do the same fucking thing in CD1, what would we have? Look at all of these streets that Tracy has banned the homeless criminals from. It's called the Goat Puppet List. You can Google it, including the freeways and the goddamn libraries. We don't want the homeless under the freeways. We don't want the homeless using Wi-Fi. We want the homeless to take a one-way bus ticket to Vancouver. Donald Trump, you're going to deport the fucking homeless first, then the illegal aliens. All right, very good. That's right. Remember, quality, not quantity. And then, where is Kevin? That son of a bitch isn't here today. Look at that, son of a bitch.
So which
Kevin,
item are you speaking to?
Well, 41, the son of a bitch on 41. Kevin will now be known as the son of a bitch. So the son of a bitch put in $200,000 of stolen money on item 41. Let's give Kevin a hand. Yes. How come he's not here today? He doesn't invite me at his party last night for tacos, you dumb shit. So now
Mr. Spindler, you know the rules. I need you to
crap.
stick to the item itself. Go ahead.
I'm trying to, Mr. Head. Now, we got curb ramp construction. Well, that's so when you get old. Like McCosker one day up there, when you get a little older past him and you're wheeling your wheelchair up, you got to have a fucking ramp to put your big fat ass up that ramp into that park. So that's what you need on item 41. And then item 42, the son of a bitch is again giving us $100,000 of security. But you see, if Kevin only had a time machine, he would unravel 41 and 42, and he'd put it in his pocket and move to Canada. Because Donald Trump, I think, is going to try to deport him.
So this is your last warning. This is not on the agenda. If you'd like to speak to that during general, you can.
Asshole, I'm talking about 41 and 42.
Then please speak
right,
to the
you dumb
substance of
fucking
the
turd?
items. Go ahead.
Right, you're so fucking stupid. Now, item number 43, here we got Tracy Park, only $25,000 for the homeless. Why, that wouldn't buy one of her Coach handbags. That's ridiculous, Tracy. Give more money for these fucking homeless cocksuckers that are in your district, terrorizing the community. Let's give more fucking money to the cops, Tracy. Go back to your roots. Become the evil beach bitch that you are underneath yourself. Go back to your
General
roots.
public comment?
So now we give homage to the late Kevin De Leon. Thanks for the memories, for all the racist tapes, for calling the niggers monkeys, for doing all the things that you did. Wait, thank you, Mr. Lion. Thanks for the memories, for underfunding services, for putting the homeless in CD1, for chasing all the developers into unaffordable housing. Why, thank you, Mr. Kevin. Yes, that's right, everybody. We're fair losers. But you know, the bad news is that LA is going to get a new United States attorney in January the 20th. Mr. Estrada, I hear, is going to be fired. And that's bad for Marchese. Because you see, the FBI is going to turn back to those bad people like in 2017 that indict council members. So everybody, get yourself some criminal defense attorneys. Pay attention there, Imelda. You're getting indicted. Fuck.
Next speaker. So, Mr. Chair, Mr. Herman has been warned multiple times already. He is eligible for removal pursuant to Rule 7 and Rule 12. Sorry, hold on just 1 minute.
So Herman, you have exceeded the number of warnings you're allotted, so you are removed from this meeting. So we're expecting you to leave.
Mr. Herman, you need to make your way, gather your things, and please make your way to the exit. I'm sorry, Speaker, please bear with us. Could you also make sure that dog is okay, please? Sorry, Speaker, could you please remind us of which name you signed up under and the items you'd like to speak to?
I am Defender Advance, all items and public comment.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items. Go ahead.
Why is everyone always talking? Why is everyone always talking when people are speaking?
So, Speaker, this is not on the agenda. You're welcome to talk to it during general if you'd like, but I need you to stick to the agenda.
Item number 1. Do you hear me?
I can. I'm going to ask that you don't yell because you can look over here.
I can't hear with them all
Our
talking.
interpreters are wearing headphones.
I can't hear with them all talking.
Speaker, you will forfeit your speaking time if you don't listen. The interpreters are wearing headphones, and if you yell into the microphone, then you could potentially hurt their ears. Thank you.
I'm not going to yell into the microphone.
Go ahead.
I can't hear with everyone talking, so I'm going to be a little louder than them. I'd like to talk on item number 1 and the use of...
Go ahead.
Is that okay?
Go ahead.
All right, thank you. I just want to make sure everyone hears what I'm saying. This easement issue, you're doing a thing about easements here. You're dedicating easement. It's supposed to be part of the environmental thing. As a comparison, what the hell is going on at the Church of Scientology on the easement? Why is there 250 planters on that easement? I planted 50 pounds of grass seed in every single planter because because no one had an R permit, a revocable permit to put the planter there. They're using the planters to stop First Amendment protected speech. Why are you allowing those planters to be on there? The easement, you're checking the easement here for the Environment Equality Act.
So I had to consult the map. Speaker, this is not on the agenda. You've also exhausted your 1 minute on that item. The location is not anywhere near the Church of Scientology. This is your only warning. Please speak to the other items, or I'm going to move you to general.
And you need to stop shouting because you'll injure the person doing translation. So stay on the subject and speak at a reasonable valuable. Lower than the one you are now.
All right, can we start as general public comment?
Fuck you, you pieces of shit. You fucking Nazis. You know what? 2 children tried to escape from the Church of Scientology on Sunday. 2 fucking children. 2 children. The police took them back to their father. 2 of them. They escaped, ran 2 blocks to an apartment and begged that they didn't call the LAPD. How is this happening here? This is child trafficking. That girl, they didn't tell us where the mom was not called and CPS was not called. The security guards went and tried to snatch those fucking girls from that apartment. They tried to snatch them. You guys are all accountable to what the fuck is going on in Scientology. They tried to snatch 2 little 11, 12-year-old kids. Find out about this. Somebody fucking do something. You're not snatching children. Fuck off.
Speaker, your time's expired. Go ahead.
Yeah, DanielGust.substack.com. Item number 39. This is interesting because on September 27th, I wrote an article about a murder reward that you restated. It was a Tracy Park murder reward, and you have some lessons for this one. In that instance, the murderer who you were trying to catch had been arrested 2.5 years earlier, had been in custody for 2.5 years, had been convicted of the murder of Brianna Kupfer on La Brea, and you guys reiterated the murder reward for a guy who's been in custody for 2.5 years. And so now that you're reiterating this reward, I have to ask, what measures have you taken to ensure that the crime hasn't been solved, the person hasn't been arrested? Because you've done this before and you guys never explained. How did you reiterate or reinstate or renew
Speaker,
a
I'm going to ask that
murder
you move to
reward?
another item, please.
Yeah, okay, we can do that, but the point has been made. Item number 41. You guys are now borrowing, what is it, another $80 million, bearing interest, by the way, costing us interest, just for liability lawsuit settlements. How is it that you are still doing good but non-critical things like spending a few $100,000 on street furniture or beautification when you can't afford to actually settle gross negligence lawsuits? So where is the priority? Why are we spending this money now? And it's not that it's a KDL district versus a Park district or Blumenfield or McOsker district. How is it you're spending money that you are in a situation where you're borrowing tens of millions of dollars and you're going to be paying tens of millions of dollars of interest because Paul Krikorian set up the city like shit for the past 15 years when he oversaw budget and finance? So how is it you guys don't have a sense of urgency to only spend money that's critical and necessary right now? How is street furniture? How is
Okay,
that
so I'm
a
going to ask that you
logical
move on to
expenditure?
another item, please.
Okay, we're going to go to item number 42. Is this the park that's immediately adjacent to the LAPD, the one without the fence, the one where dogs are running off leash illegally, the one where the dogs are intact illegally? Where is the sense that, gee, if
General
we're going to
public
spend
comment?
money on a park, which is not, huh?
Sorry, hold his
Don't
time.
interrupt me, Groach.
General
I'm
public
on
comment.
topic.
So
You just have to.
your time is
Yeah,
paused.
yeah, you have to let
You're
me
in
make my
general
own
public
time,
comment now.
point
So
my
go
own way.
ahead.
So this is what they do to you guys. You guys are setting yourself up for even bigger lawsuits because through Unisys Hernandez and Heather Hutt and John Lee, you are approving commissioners at Animal Services who have admitted they have no background, and they're deciding policy in which people are getting bitten. Stacey Daines made misleading statements to the media, creating a false sense of security at Animal Services, and you are setting the city up for much, much bigger liability settlements because you're, and by the way, where's Stacey Daines? Wasn't she supposed to be back a month ago? You're paying her $200,000 a year, and she went on two-month leave of absence that should have ended a month ago, and you keep misrepresenting the safety and security and the circumstances to the media and the public. And instead of $5 million settlements, you're going to start paying $15 million settlements. Anybody who's going to sue the city of Los Angeles for gross negligence, reach out because I
Speaker,
got the
your time has
details
expired.
of how.
Caller with the digits ending in 8015, unmute yourself.
Good morning. I'll speak on all items and public comment, general public comment.
Good morning. We can hear
Item
you.
33.
Go ahead.
Excuse me?
Go ahead. You have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Can you start our time from the top?
Thanks. Item 33 is for the removal of 901 North Micantoria Street property where criminals like indicted Kern Price and Sleazy Dawson regularly confiscate properties for personal gain. In my opinion, this property should receive a yes vote so they cannot steal it from the owner. On the other hand, in my opinion, this item should receive a no vote if Sleazy Dawson, Sleazy indicted out on bail criminal Kern Price, and or unelected Heather Hutt are allowed to vote, as I believe the Sleazy Council is the most corrupt in the U.S. This property could end up in one or all of their names instead of the owner. Item 34 is for the removal of 1803 North Lucretia property from the REAP account. The REAP program funds for this property should be used to assist the property owners for the incompetent self-serving black criminals of this corrupt government use it to steal properties for themselves. In my opinion, this property should receive a yes vote so they cannot steal it from the owner. On the other hand, in my opinion, this item should receive a no vote if incompetent, corrupt, sleazy Marquise Dawson, whose area is a food desert, corrupt, indicted out on bail Kern Price, and Heather Hutt are allowed to vote, as I believe the property could end up in one or all of their names instead of the owner. Item 35 is for the removal of 219 East 73rd Street from the REAP account. This property is in CD9 of indicted corrupt out on bail Kern Price. In my opinion, the REAP program for this property should be used to assist the property owners in maintaining ownership of their land. However, the incompetent self-serving criminals, Dawson, Price, Hutt, the most corrupt local government they're part of, and the U.S. use the REAP system to place liens on this property and steal the property for themselves. In my opinion, this item should receive a yes vote. On the other hand, in my opinion, this item should receive a no vote as Sleazy Dawson, corrupt indicted out on bail criminal Kern Price, and Heather Hutt are allowed to vote, as I believe the property would end up in one or all of their names instead of the owner. Item 41 is by Kevin Louis Vuitton Leon and should receive a no vote because even though the racist is on his way out, goodbye, Kevin. This is money I believe will be embezzled by De Leon, the racist criminal. Item 40 is by demonic racist Tracy Park to evict homeless people from 16 different locations. Now, can I go to general public comment?
Yes, you can. You have 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
Thank you. First is, did anyone out there stupid enough to vote on that propositions that raise our taxes so our government can squander more? The LA Council is the most corrupt in the history of the U.S. Case in point, when Sleazy Marquise Dawson on October 23rd passed items 12 and 13 for $4.9 billion. Yes, $4.9 billion in debt dollars, supposedly for the LADWP, without not one word of public comment allowed. The Black community has zero representation. from these black clown criminals. Black faces occupy 20% of the Sleazy Council, and yet black people are nearly 50% of the homeless, incarcerated, and the unemployed. Sleazy Marquise Dawson is running a food desert in CD8. The corrupt little short man is currently behind a scheme to sell the black community state
Caller, your
EDD
time has
employment
expired.
office building.
Understood, Punkhead, and shout out to the smoke can community. But like I was saying, like the, like I said, like the, the shrimp guy was saying there, we have issues with, the pricing down there. I don't know where he's getting off with the $200, for a little hand job. It's, if you're paying $200 for, Wico taco, with guacamole is about to turn on you there's a problem. You need to, go on
All
to the
right,
next one.
your time has
support
expired.
the host that support you. You're welcome there, brother. Did y'all have a
That concludes public comment, both by telephone and in person. And before we go to our business, I want to recognize one of our community leaders, a member of the California State Assembly, and a longtime supporter of the city of Los Angeles, and one of our candidates for Council District 2, anxiously awaiting results, Assembly Member Adrien Azarian. Let's give him a big round of applause. And perhaps we'll be seeing more of you soon. What's next for us, Mr. Cook?
Colleagues, I rise today to adjourn in the memory of a musical legend, Mr. Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones was widely regarded as one of the most influential and versatile figures in the history of music. His career spanned over 7 decades, where he shaped the landscape of jazz, pop, and film music through his exceptional talents as a composer, arranger, producer, and band leader through multiple generations. His work with legends like Michael Jackson, Frank Sinatra, Aretha Franklin revolutionized not just pop, jazz, and R&B, but the very way we think about music as a universal language. With these decades of contributions, Quincy didn't just make music, he made history, pioneering new ways to blend orchestration, rhythm, and innovation. His legacy is not just in the countless records he produced or awards he amassed, but in the doors he opened for countless artists and his unyielding pursuit of excellence. Our thoughts are with his family and all who are affected by his passing. While the world has lost a giant, his influence will echo through the ages, inspiring future generations to create the same boundless creativity and heart that defined his momentous career. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman Hutt. And with your permission, I'd love to be added to that adjourning motion. There's lots special to say about Quincy Jones, but for us here in this body, folks know Quincy Jones was born in Chicago, raised in Seattle, but made Los Angeles his home and was a part, as much as anybody, of the music scene and the music fabric across genres. So there was movies, there was jazz, there was R&B, and a singular moment, even though there were several moments, that the whole world found about was the recording of We Are the World. And the thing about the recording of the We Are the World is it has the biggest rock stars, the biggest jazz stars, the biggest hip hop, all the genres are in the room. And folks from that time will tell you, Quincy Jones was the only person on earth that could pick up the phone and get everybody in the room the night of the Grammys to record that record. And he did that in the big sense, but then in the smaller sense, in the everyday sense, I cannot think of an organization in South LA and around the city where when they were in trouble or got into some financial shape, he wouldn't pick up the phone and say, okay, we're going to do a benefit show for you. We're going to bring together some artists and sing and raise some money for you. And so Quincy Jones is truly a lost treasure for all of the city of Los Angeles. So thank you, Councilmember Hutt. Mr. Price.
Too, I'd like to join on that, Mr. President. And he was really a man for the people. In 2011, before I was sworn in, he was recognized with an elementary school in my district, Quincy Jones Elementary School, and he was there for the program, I understand, right there off of Jefferson. But down to earth, of course, he had lots of stories from Central Avenue.
Lots of profits.
And will always be remembered for his work, not only as a musician, but also as a real positive spirit. So I'd like to be added to that. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Rodriguez.
Thank you. And thank you for talking about that iconic moment. And if you haven't seen the making of We Are the World, I want to encourage everybody. It's on Netflix. But it was Quincy who was the only person who had the gravitas and the connections to be able to get everybody in the room in one night to produce what is, I think, revered around the world in making such an incredible impact. You know, I was, as someone who grew up just adoring Michael Jackson and the Jacksons, and just all of that music was so influential. He was such an important part of the musical legacy that we all enjoy. I'd like to ask that we make it an all-council adjournment. He really, it's so far beyond Los Angeles, around the world. His mark is indelible, and he was just an incredible musical genius. My dear friend, Neil Frazier, whose father was a composer, lost a Grammy to Quincy Jones, and who accepted actually on behalf of the Beatles. And so he was just so well connected in so many different ways in every genre. He was incredibly iconic, and you know, Mr. Price talks about his generosity as well. I mean, it was just well documented. So I think about him as obviously someone that we should all be celebrating in his life, and in gratitude and adjournment in his name for the entire council.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Rodriguez.
So today, council, I ask that we adjourn in the memory of Robert Bobby Rouget, a dedicated and beloved member of the Arleta community and a big fan of actually watching council on YouTube. Robert was born on October 31st, 1942, and recently passed away on October 22nd, 2024. Robert moved to Los Angeles from Missouri at the age of 18, and from that moment, he became an integral part of our city. Robert attended Los Angeles City College, where he earned his Associate of Arts and Science in Radio, TV Broadcasting in June of 1975. He went to work as a sound producer for CBS TV shows Vegas and Dynasty from 1981 to 89, and many more. He was an active and passionate advocate for the Arleta community, participating in many organizations and dedicating years of service to the Arleta Neighborhood Council. Through his work, he fought tirelessly for resources and improvement that would uplift our city and the lives of those around him. Robert also maintained strong partnerships with the LAPD, particularly with Foothill and Mission divisions, working collaboratively to ensure the safety and well-being of our neighborhood, and always excited whenever he saw families enjoy the work of community and collaboration. His spirit of service, commitment, and resilience has left a lasting impact on all of those who had the privilege of knowing him. I personally am going to miss him so, so much. His emails, his texts, his comments about the things that he sees on council as he would watch, it's a big loss. He is survived by his wife, Maggie, his brother Joe, and his cousin, Mary Kate. We extend our heartfelt condolences to his family, friends, and the entire Arleta community. His legacy will continue to inspire all of us to work towards the betterment of our city and pride in our community. May he rest in peace.
Thank you so much. Councilmember Rodriguez.
Thank you, Ms. Padilla. I'd like to be added. I used to work with Robert Rouget when I was a staff member many, many years ago. I remember when he was very active with the Arleta Looky-Loos and working with Harry Williams, and just always very active and a constructive community member who just cared deeply about wanting to make things better. And so I'd like to be added.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilmember Rodriguez, Councilmember Padilla. Seeing no other adjourning motions, we are adjourned.